What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back again, once again. So it's no secret that I have some pretty strong opinions about Trials of Osiris. Ironically enough, opinions that got quite a bit of hate when Trials of Osiris was first released, but have become the common opinion, the default one might say. Imagine my surprise.
See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
Eventually we'll get to the point where I can present a not so controversial opinion that everybody's going to end up agreeing with months after I make it, and skip all the butthurt fanboys. Or at least I can dream. One of the points of contentions for Trials of Osiris was incentive. I'm going to be real, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be real honest. I only played Trials of Osiris a handful of times in Destiny 2, if that, and I had to be drunk on stream playing with fans and subscribers to be coerced into doing it because there was no point. On top of that, elimination isn't my cup of tea. I just don't find the game type enjoyable. It's antithetical to the way Destiny is played. And yes, this is another one of those instances where most of Destiny had to be stripped out of Destiny to bring it somewhere, anywhere, even remotely in the ballpark of being competitive. And before somebody starts screaming in the comments below, all half-cocked, "But Joker!" I'm not the only one with this opinion. This has been a general train of thought since Destiny 1, when Trials of Osiris was first introduced. However, the game mode, whether you like it or not, at least in Destiny 1, gave you a reason to play it. And that's the important part. It doesn't matter if you like the game mode or not, or if it has to strip half the game out of it to be competitive. What matters, the only thing that matters, in a loot-based shooter, is that it gives you a reason to play it. In Destiny 2, however, regardless of your opinion on the game mode itself, Trials was more stick than it ever was carrot. There was no reason to go flawless, and this glaring flaw in the current iteration of the game mode made itself almost immediately apparent, as people learned they could farm the first 3 wins on any Trials passage to get the best rewards available. This, of course, had the knock-on effect of punishing less skilled players who just became the punching bag of more skilled players. Better players who had absolutely no reason to ascend in the ranks of the Trials passage because there was no rewards worth the effort. And Destiny is, fundamentally, at the end of the day, a game about rewards and effort. It's just the nature of the beast. So, now that we're aware of the problem, what is Bungie going to do about it? Beginning in Beyond Light, all existing Trials weapons have Adept versions. Our intent is for all new Trials weapons to have Adept versions in the future, with their infusion caps matching the season they were introduced in. For our first round of Adepts, their infusion caps will be set to that of Season of the Worthy. Additionally, we will be introducing Adept weapon mods in the sandbox in Beyond Light, which can only be applied to Adept weaponry. Adept weapons. Here's how Adept weapons differ from base weapons. Masterworking an Adept weapon will grant additional stats. Plus 10 to the primary stat as usual, the specific masterwork of the weapon, plus 3 to all alternative stats. Adept weapons can use either a standard weapon mod or a new Adept weapon mod, earned when going flawless. Note, these shaders are not awarded as consumables when dismantling an Adept weapon. As such, they cannot be applied to other pieces of gear. Adept weapon mods. These mods come in 2 varieties. Weapon Stat Boost, each of which grants a plus 10 to a particular stat in the same way to masterworking stats. Example, Adept Range, plus 10 range. Versions of some existing mods, granting an improved bonus, but with a downside. Base versions of the mods explained below. Adept Mag, plus 40 magazine, minus 20 handling. Backup Mag is plus 30 magazine. Acquisition. To earn Adept weapons and Adept weapon mods, players must complete a Flawless Trials passage, and open the Flawless chest at the Lighthouse. Each week, a different Adept weapon mod can drop from the Flawless chest. Adept weapon mods will be on a weekly rotation, so a given mod may not make its appearance until later this season. The mod is unlocked for use on owned Adept weapons when acquired. Adept weapons will be available from the Flawless chest on a bi-weekly basis, alternating with armor drops. The first Adept weapon acquired on any given week is a pinnacle drop. Adept weapons will be on a set rotation, so players may continue to earn alternate rolls on specific Adept weapons when completing Flawless passages throughout a given weekend. So before we can get into any of the good stuff, we have to talk about the 850-pound gorilla in the room. The fact that the newly added Adept weapons will only have a lifespan of what? 6 months? If that? While everything with the mod sounds super special, awesome, amazing, why exactly would I want to grind out weapons that don't even have a year-long shelf life? Who thought that was a good idea? I mean, don't get me wrong, sunsetting is already a ludicrous idea, an awful gimmick to get you to regrind the same things or near enough facsimiles that you already have over and 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 over again ad nauseum, if you wish to remain viable in the endgame activities. And now we have high-end competitive PvP gear being introduced 6 months after the utter failure that was Trials of Osiris' initial release, and Bungie somehow, someway, through some Herculean leap in logic that us mere mortals will never comprehend, have decided that it's an intelligent idea to sunset it almost immediately? Nani the fuck? Even with Bungie introducing a new swath of pinnacle gear down the road when all this stuff gets sunset, you'd think they would just bite the bullet and have the two sets running simultaneously and then sunset both sets when you introduce the third set. But we know why this is happening, because if they, I don't know, just follow me here, happen to introduce Eye of Soul 2.0, well, you know, you'll be less inclined to grind out the Adept Eye of Soul 2.0. If you already have the Eye of Soul 1.0, that's just as effective. But bullshit sunsetting aside, I do love the idea of the mods instead of, for example, an extra weapon perk, because that's always going to be a toss-up on whether it's going to be a good perk or not, and curated roles are always a toss-up. Some are good, some are shit. It just is what it is. That said, this does have more utility than, say, an extra perk. For example, shotguns have an 8-meter range cap, so a God Roll Astral Horizon has no need for a range mod. However, a handling mod, or say, you get the God Roll Astral Horizon, but because RNG is a cruel mistress, you get everything you want for a God Roll, except the masterwork. It's handling, or it's reloading, or something arbitrary that doesn't quite bring the weapon to its full potential. Well, now instead of grinding and grinding and grinding some more to try and get that God Roll, you can just increase the range with an Adept mod. Done. Your good roll is now a God roll. And in fact, I think that's going to be the play going forward, where maybe you do look for the handling masterwork on a shotgun instead of the range masterwork because you have the range mod. Honestly, I don't know why Bungie hasn't done this before, and I hope the Trials weapons aren't the only thing looking to get this sort of exclusive Adept mods that change the base stats of a weapon. Raid weapons are almost screaming for something like this. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Remember to like, but only if you did. Subscribe for more. Feel free to donate to my Patreon if you're feeling particularly generous. But above all else, stay frosty.